What if you had to write the rulebook for the future of energy for 1.4 billion people? Well, that is the absolutely monumental task India is taking on right now. We're talking about a plan designed to power its rise as a global economic giant, and it's a complete reboot of the last 2 decades of energy policy.
So, this is it. The draft National Electricity Policy. Now, it might look like just another government document, but trust me, this is a big deal. This is the proposed replacement for a policy that's been running the show since 2005. For almost 20 years, the old rules shaped everything, and this new draft, it signals a massive shift in direction.
And this isn't just about keeping the lights on. Not at all. It's about fueling a huge national ambition called Viksit Bharat at 2047. That's the vision for India to become a fully developed nation by its 100th birthday. And reliable, affordable, clean energy, well, that's the engine that's supposed to drive that whole transformation.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to look back at the last 20 years, the incredible wins and, the serious problems that have popped up. Then, we'll dive right into the policy's 3 big, bold moves. After that, we'll explore why this plan matters way beyond just the energy sector. And finally, we'll look at the massive challenge of actually making this all happen.
So, the big question is, why now? To put it simply, the India of today is a completely different country than it was in 2005. The old rulebook, even with all its successes, just isn't built to handle the challenges of today's energy world.
To really get where we're going, you have to appreciate where we've been. And that 2005 policy, it was a landmark success. Seriously, it laid the foundation for the entire modern Indian power sector and, honestly, achieved some pretty incredible things.
I mean, the scale of what they accomplished is just staggering. Think about it for a second. Universal electrification, connecting every single village in a country of over 1 billion people. A massive boom in private investment that now makes up more than half of all power generation. And maybe the most impressive part, stitching together all these separate regional grids into one unified national grid, letting power flow seamlessly from one end of the country to the other. These were huge, foundational wins.
But, as often happens, that incredible success created new, way more complex problems. So while the lights came on everywhere, behind the scenes, some really serious cracks started to show up in the system's foundation.
The whole nature of the challenge has just completely flipped. You see, the old fight was about access, just getting power to people. The new fight is about financial survival. It's not just about getting any investment anymore. It's about figuring out the huge complexity of switching to renewable energy. The problems have totally evolved.
And this number, wow, this is right at the heart of the crisis. 7.18 lakh crore rupees. That's over 7 trillion rupees. To put it another way, that's nearly 90 billion US dollars. It is a mountain of debt owed by India's local power companies, the DISCOMs. And frankly, it's a debt so big it threatens to pull the whole system down.
So, to fix all this, the new policy is rolling out a really bold, 3-pronged strategy. It's a blueprint that isn't just about patching the cracks, but about building a whole new foundation for the next few decades.
Okay, the first big move is all about the money, fixing the finances. The central idea is making power prices cost-reflective, meaning the price you pay actually covers the cost to produce and deliver it. To make sure this happens, the policy wants automatic price updates every year, taking the politics out of it. Next, it wants to cut extra charges for big industries to help boost manufacturing. And finally, and this is a huge one, it takes on hidden farm subsidies by pushing to power all agricultural lines with solar by 2030.
The second move is a massive, and I mean massive, pivot to green energy. Just look at this chart. The goal for 2047 is to have nearly 2/3 of all electricity coming from non-fossil fuel sources. This is a monumental shift that's going to require a complete rethinking of the grid.
So how are they going to do it? Well, the policy is betting big on energy storage. Think giant batteries and pumped hydro to handle the fact that the sun doesn't always shine and the wind doesn't always blow. It's pushing for more market competition, basically making renewables compete head-to-head with coal by 2030. It's also encouraging smaller stuff like rooftop solar, and then there's this, a massive commitment to nuclear power, aiming for 100 gigawatts of capacity by 2047. That would be an absolutely historic expansion.
The third and final move is to build a grid that's actually smart enough to handle all this change. A key new idea here is the Distribution System Operator, or DSO. You know what? Just think of it as a local air traffic controller, but for electricity. It's managing the two-way flow of power coming from rooftop solar, electric cars, and local batteries, all in real time.
You absolutely need this for a modern, decentralized grid.
This modernization push has a few key goals. First, a massive rollout of smart meters for better data and billing. Second, much higher reliability standards for cities, using something called N1 redundancy, which basically just means there's always a backup line ready to go. It also calls for a really strong cybersecurity system, with all power sector data stored inside India. And finally, it pushes states to break up their utilities to create truly independent grid operators.
So, we've gone through a lot of the technical details, but why does this policy actually matter? For you, for the country, for the world? Well, the impact is enormous.
Let's just start with the investment. Making this vision happen is going to require an estimated 200 lakh crore rupees by 2047. That is a mind-boggling figure, somewhere around 2.4 trillion US dollars. It's an opportunity that will literally reshape India's economy and create a whole new energy industry.
And what about the direct impact? Well, for you, the consumer, it promises more reliable 24/7 power, clearer bills because of smart meters, and down the road, more choice in who you buy your electricity from. For industry, it means more competitive energy costs, which is a huge boost for manufacturing. And for the planet, this policy is basically India's official roadmap for hitting its climate targets, including that big goal of net zero emissions by 2070.
Now, a plan this ambitious is one thing, but turning it into reality, from words on a page to actual power pylons in the ground, that is the real challenge.
And this quote from Powerline magazine just hits the nail on the head. The success of this entire national project really comes down to execution. It all depends on whether India's states and local utilities can actually put these reforms into practice and deliver results you can actually measure.
So that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? The blueprint is bold, it's comprehensive, it's definitely looking to the future. But turning this vision into a reality, well, that's going to be one of the greatest economic and technical challenges of the 21st century. And you can bet the world will be watching.